My message today is titled Life is Hard, and it's about how to live a great life despite the fact that life is difficult. Everybody wants to be happy in life. We all want to live a perfect life. We want that great job or a successful business. We want to be married to Mr. Right or Mrs. Perfect. We want to have great kids. We want to have friends that stick by us, come rain or shine. We want to be able to have all the material things life has to offer and have all our problems just disappear. Now, everybody wishes for a good life. It may be at different levels. One person may define a good life one way and may describe it another way. For one person, a good life may be just having 3 meals a day and roof over their head. For another, it may be having a huge mansion and a couple of $1 million in the bank. There are different levels and meanings to what a good life is. But whatever your definition is, there is perhaps one thing that you may have in common with many other people. You might want that good life stress-free. You would like to have it without having to work so hard or struggle for so much. This is a normal human expectation. Nobody likes to struggle through life. Unfortunately, that is also what may be stopping you from having that great life. The thought of all that work, all that planning, overcoming hardness and resistance is enough to make a lot of people give up before they even start. It can all seem too overwhelming. And for many, it just doesn't seem to be worth it. It's like being drained out of energy just at the thought of running a marathon. Before you even hit the starting line, the thought of all that running just scares you and tires you so much mentally that you just decide not to go for it. It's just too hard. One of my favorite books is titled The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck. The first sentence in this book is life is difficult. Now, if you pick up a book and the first thing it tells you life is difficult, you may just think, is this book gonna get any reassuring and encouraging after such a start? But as Peck goes on explaining, once you accept that life is hard, it no longer becomes an issue that life is difficult, he says. In life, you will have difficulties getting anything you want. It is very rare to get anything in life without some degree of effort. Only if you win the lottery will you have everything without an effort, and even then you would have to go out and buy that lottery ticket anyway, so it's not free at all. Life is hard. Your boss will not always be the nicest person in the world. Your job will have challenges that you do not foresee. Your workmates will sometimes be a pain. You won't always get a salary and recognition that you want and deserve at work. Your clients may not be the nicest people in the world. Life is hard. Your kids won't always be ideal kids you want them to be. Your wife or husband may not be as perfect as you thought when you married them. In fact, I can guarantee you they're not. Your home may not be an ideal place you would want to be in. You may not be the perfect wife or husband that you once thought you were. Life is hard. Running a successful business is not as easy as you thought it would be. No one is lining up to bring money to your business even thought you're a really nice person and your business has a great products to offer. I could go on and on with these examples, but the bottom line is that life is hard. I don't mean to say in all this that you don't deserve a break. I'm not saying that you're not justified in thinking that you deserve more than what you have gotten from life and the world to this point. I'm not saying that you're not justified in feeling the way you feel. I know you have had tough times. I know that at times you feel that it's very confusing and just too hard. I mean, you have worked very hard. You've done all that you possibly could in your life, whether it is at work or at home. But things just don't seem to have worked out as well as you have planned or hoped. It all just seems to have gone wrong and you don't know or understand how or why. But that's okay. It's normal. That's what being human is all about. That's what life is about. Life is hard. Accept it. Once you do, you will feel better about your circumstances. Then you won't think about your situation as anything but what is common to every human being. Then you will think of your situation as a part of your life. You will no longer beat yourself up about how bad things are or how you are not doing so well in one area or another. You will realize that you are only human. You make mistakes just like everybody else. You're not perfect just like everybody else. But don't stop there. Accepting that life is hard does not mean that you accept every circumstance and simply go with the flow. You see, there are two sides to this story. There is another side to this coin. On one side of the coin is where you have the words, life is hard. But if you turn the coin over, you will find 5 very small but powerful words. You can make it better. That is one of the beautiful things about life. You can make your life better. You have total responsibility for what you do and how you respond to the fact that life is hard. As the now cliche saying goes, if life hands you a lemon, make a lemonade. Accepting that life is hard comes with accepting that you have responsibility to make it better. Not only do you have the responsibility to make it better, you have the ability and power to make it better. You can make it better. Become a better employee and someone worthy of giving more responsibilities at work. The promotions and better pay are sure to follow one way or another. You can make it better. Learn how to raise better kids and have a happier home. Become a good husband or wife you would like you're supposed to be. You can make it better. Learn how to turn your business around. Gain extra skills you need to run a successful business. You see, the only person you have a control over is yourself. You cannot change other people. Let's take for example of marriage for a moment. Notice that I did not say that you should turn your husband or spouse into an ideal spouse. I said you should become an ideal husband or wife you want is supposed to be. Then once you become such a person, you may have several choices as to how to relate to your spouse. Firstly, once you are near perfect, spouse as anyone can be, your husband or wife might see a difference and also decide to change for the better, or they may just change naturally as a response to your new altitude. Secondly, if they don't change, perhaps you have reached a level of maturity where you are content and satisfied with who they are and their faults no longer bother you. Or thirdly, in some cases such as in abusive relationships or relationships that are risks to your health, you may reach a level of self-acceptance and courage where you are able to leave that abusive or unfaithful partner. Whatever the case may be, this example illustrates one other important fact about the fact that life is hard and taking responsibilities is you always have a choice. No matter what situation you are in, you always have a choice. No matter how you have shut off your mind from seeing those choices and possibilities because you thought you had no choice. Once you become open to the idea that you are responsible for your life and that you have choices, you will find out that you're no longer stuck because life is hard. At this point, life is still hard, but you have the final say. Your life becomes more meaningful and purposeful.